All right, guys, welcome back. So, if you didn't watch part one of I don't even know what I would call it, my freshman year vlog, because that's not gonna be the title. Anyways, if you didn't watch the first part of this, don't skip over to this one, okay? And don't be roasting because I'm doing all these videos in one sitting. So don't be talking about, oh, she has on the same clothes and blah, blah, blah. Like, mind your business. So, anyways, after Yolanda moved out, time went by and it was just me, Emily, and Penelope. So there was this girl that lived in the same dormitory hall as us, and she lived like down the hall, literally, like on the same floor down the hall. And her and Penelope like knew each other from high school. And this girl's name was Heather. Y'all, when I tell you, when Heather came into our lives, well, mine, I like everything just went down the drain. So Heather had a roommate, and like she was kind of like weird, so she would like be like, can I sleep in you guys' room, because we had the extra bed. So we're like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. But we had to be careful because if an RA came or something, like we could get in trouble, because it's like you're not supposed to be in here, because like we could have someone just come in the room one day and be like, oh, this is your new roommate, but we didn't have that problem because like it was a quad. So I knew like nobody was trying to live with 3 other people who already had like a connection and stuff. So Heather would sleep over all the time. First it was like, but then it turned into all the time, and at first she was cool people. Like, she used to do my edges for me, because y'all, I did not know how to do my edges for shit. And she was like the hookup for when we wanted to toke and stuff. So we would do it in her room or our room, and yeah, she was just cool. Like, she was really cool. So like, I don't know, once she started living there with us, she was kind of like, I could tell she was kind of not feeling me for whatever reason. So like I said, I told y'all, I got the fridge, the microwave, and the TV. The TV was kind of like dumb for me to get because we had nowhere to put it really. And like the cord was like so short. So I kind of like, I think I eventually brought that home because it was like, it's taking up space, Well, I remember one time we're all talking, and Heather says like, why do you have to have the microwave and the fridge under your bed? And I didn't take it but I was just kind of like, that's really bothering you. So I put it under the bed that she was under, because it was like in the middle of the room. You know what I mean? Like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't care. Then after, she, like I said, she just started being weird. And like, I can tell like Penelope and Emily were kind of like, we were kind of getting distance from one another, because eventually we started allowing our boyfriends to come over. My boyfriend mainly slept over. Penelope had a boyfriend, and Penelope's boyfriend would only come and like take her out or like take her home. I remember Penelope and Emily wanted to always have like little get-togethers in our room, and it kind of annoyed me because it was like, I don't care, but like we're not gonna do it every night, and not trying to sound funny, but people only wanted to come in our room because our room was huge. Like, our room was huge. Like, when I tell y'all, our room was like a legit, like probably bigger than a studio apartment, so I remember I used to kind of clash with Penelope about that. Like, why do you always have to have people here? Like, you know what I mean? And like, it was just, people just started getting too comfortable. Like, I remember like people would just come in our room. Like, nobody would knock. I remember one time I had got out the shower, y'all. I was in the room by myself. I don't know where they were at. And this girl that lived on the same floor as us just walked in my room, and I was naked, y'all. And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, oh, and then shut the door and walked out. But I was so mad, like, nah, I was not feeling that, because it was like, y'all got everybody feeling too comfortable to just walk in our room. You know what I mean? And granted, my fault, I forgot to lock the door, but why are you just coming in my room? Anyways, so after that, Heather was like, kind of like I said, her vibes were just off. Like, I could just tell she wasn't feeling me. So one day, it was, like a Wednesday night or something. She had Penelope texted me and said, oh, like, let's have a meeting, because we had a little group chat. So I was like, okay, sure, let's have a meeting. When I tell y'all, when I came in the room, I was sitting like this on my side, and across from me it was Penelope, Heather, and Emily. So I was like, what kind of meeting is this that y'all are like, I feel like we're going against one another. So we started talking. Of course, Heather's talking, and she's like, you know, I just feel like you act like this is only your room, and you know, you always be starting problems. She was like, I don't get why you're like you acting like that. She was like Emily, she goes through it like financially and stuff, and she still gets to her like grind and does what she needs to do. Like, she's cool people. And then she was like, and Penelope, you know, she be like being mad chill, being like courteous and stuff, you know, when she shouldn't have to all the time. It was just weird because it was like, why isn't Emily or Penelope talking to me? They're my roommates. Like, you just sleep here. You have a room down the hall. You know what I mean? And she said something that was so fucked up, y'all. She literally said to me like, oh, and you always use like, because I went through this traumatic thing when I was younger, you always use that as an excuse. And when I tell you, I looked at her like, what the fuck did you just say? I use that as an excuse? Mind you, I only shared that with them because I like would have like crazy nightmares, you know. So if I was loud or anything, I just wanted to be like, you know, like, I've been through it, but it ain't gonna define me. I came out stronger. But if y'all hear me like, you know, wilding in my sleep or something, because I have PTSD, crazy, you know. So it was just it was so fucked up. Like, it really was. And I started crying because it was just like, how are you going to say that to me? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, because like I said, like, I just didn't like when there was boys in the room all the time. Like, come on. Like, I want to have my pants off. I want to be in my panties. Like, it's my room. I live with girls. I don't want people always in here. So after that, she was like, y'all, I'm sorry. My nose be itching. It's so weird. My grandma says when your nose itches, it means someone you least expect is going to come visit you. Anyway, so she was like, you know, it was just so rude. And she was just saying stuff like, one time Calvin ordered me a pizza. It was like a small pepperoni pizza. And I didn't know. I got a call from Domino's like, hi, your pizza's here. And I'm like, pizza? And I was like, oh my God, Calvin got me a pizza. And like, they were all just kind of like, oh, really? Like, it was like they thought I was lying, and it was like, what do I need to lie about that for? So I went to get it, and when I came up, I asked Heather, like, do you want a slice? She was like, no, thank you. I asked Emily, do you want a slice? She's like, yeah. I didn't ask Penelope because Penelope doesn't like, because it had bacon on it. She doesn't like how it tastes. Like, I guess it messed with her stomach and stuff. So she brought that up, and she's like, and you know she can't even eat that, and da-da-da. Like, she was just coming for me, y'all. She was just coming for me. And I was just like, you know, I was just so taken aback. So eventually that kind of didn't go anywhere. Like, we were going to have a meeting at my grandma's house and have like her be the mediator. You know what I mean? But they all was like, no, we're not going to go. Like, they didn't come. And it was like, okay, good. Because y'all knew, first of all, my grandma is fair. You know, like, yes, I'm her granddaughter. But if I was doing something wrong, she would be like, you messed up, you know? But it was like, oh, y'all feel intimidated. Because it's like, y'all were coming at me. So I want someone who's with me, you know? So it was over winter break. And Penelope texted us and was like, guys, so I'm not going to be able to come back because, like, I owe so much money. Like, she hadn't been paying her bill. And she's not going to, like, you know, she's not going to keep, like, living there. So I was like, oh, damn, so sad, going to miss you. But I was kind of like, at the same time, like, bye. Like, so after she left, Emily started like being distant, like so distant. Like, she would always go to Heather's room down the hall all the time, go talk with her. I would only see Emily like when we had classes. We had like 2 classes together like during the week, and she'd be in the room for 2 seconds and then she would go out to Heather's room. So it was just like weird, and like I thought it was mad funny because it was like, word, because it's like, you never be in here, you know, like, you just left me. And I'm not saying like you're obligated to be with me, but like, I mean, damn, like, we're not gonna hang out no more, like, stuff like that. So yeah, it was just, you know, that was just like it brewing, like the pot was stirring, like, you know what I mean? So part 3 of this, y'all, it's really gonna get crazy. It's really gonna explode, you know what I mean? So stay tuned.
Huh.